Well, probably about 21, 22 years ago, when my parents were still with me, they were here for a Mass, and I decided to give a little special homily, especially for them. As most of my homily, I concentrated on the ways most my mother and father took care of me and grew me up, and especially helped me develop my faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. And I thank them for that. They were present to hear it. I felt I should do something like that before they passed on, so they could hear it from me instead of hearing it from heaven. And it was a beautiful moment. And I felt that with Francis, the Lord may call him any day. We don't know. It's on God's time. But we've been asked all over the church to pray for Pope Francis today. And I thought, yeah, I can do that today. Let's talk about how Francis, and what I'm impressed about him, and good advice that he has given to the church as a whole. Many people in this parish have grandparents or great-grandparents or even parents that came from Europe, largely from Italy and Poland and other countries as well. My grandparents came from Poland. Well, Pope Francis's parents came from Italy. They went to Argentina. Just as all the Italians and Poles and Belgians and other people were migrating at that same time, a huge Italian migration came to Argentina. So much so, ladies and gentlemen, that between 45 and 50% of the population of Argentina is Italian descent. They actually speak Spanish down there with an Italian accent. There's a lot of Italian words mixed in with the Spanish down there. If you go down there and close your eyes, a friend of mine, Dr. Lanny Hollis, is with me down there, and he said, you know, if you close your eyes and just listen to the conversation, you think you're in Rome. It's Spanish, a heavily Italian-influenced Spanish. Well, Francis was born there, raised in a good education. Parents loved him, felt a calling to the priesthood, joined the Jesuit order. Got an excellent education and moved up in the Jesuit order. And then over time, he was appointed Archbishop of Buenos Aires, the biggest city in Argentina. Well, he did something quite remarkable and quite unheard of. He did not want to live in the Archbishop's palace with all the servants. He said he would lose touch with the people if he did that. So instead, he rented a little apartment and then would go on the trolley and take it to the chancery and back with everybody else. Can you imagine an archbishop doing that? Wow, it blew my mind. And then when he was elected pope, he fundamentally did the same thing. Now, of course, papal security is very tight, but Francis found ways to keep in touch with ordinary folks. First of all, he didn't live in the papal palace. There is one. He didn't move there. He moved into a guest room in the guest house where people come in and bring their guests and things. So he's living down the hallway from people who, are coming in and out and visiting the Vatican. And then for breakfast and lunch, he dined in the employee cafeteria. He would sit down with, somebody who washed the floors, somebody who did the dishes, Swiss guards, whoever was there. He'd sit down and for his entire pontificate with normal folks, because he said you have to keep in touch with people. The people are the church. So that always impressed me. Another thing that impressed me about Francis is he always gave good advice, and he gave especially good advice for Lent. Now I'm going to have this put in the parish paper, hopefully for next week, but I'm going to read it to you today. It's Pope Francis' advice for Lent, and he concentrates on fasting. This is very important for Francis, fasting. So think about fasting as I read you his advice for Lent. Fast from hurting words and replace them with kind words. Fast from sadness and be filled with gratitude. Fast from anger and be filled with patience. Fast from pessimism and be filled with hope. Fast from worries and trust in God. Fast from complaints and contemplate simplicity. Fast from pressures and be prayerful. Fast from bitterness and fill your heart with joy. Fast from selfishness and be filled with compassion for others. Fast from grudges and be reconciled. Fast from words and be silent so you'll be able to listen. Good advice for Lent. Good advice for a lifetime.